Okay, so where's the list here? Let me bring us in on this one.
Okay.
Yep, up to you.
Okay. All right. Welcome to another segment of Convincing Idiots. So we've covered so far we're talking about Star Wars here in these segments today. So we talked about the prequels. We gave that overall a C at best.
I don't know that you gave it a C. We gave it a C, but
and then the original trilogy, we all gave it an A.
Right.
You know, again, there's opportunities and everything, but complete arc, start to finish. They had a plan. At least it seems like, sort of.
Right.
Beginning, middle, end. And now the Disney trilogy, which some may question, did they have a plan to actually tell a full story, cohesive story, that is, beginning, middle, and end? Or some may think that they just started a movie and really had no idea where they were going with it. But they knew they were going to make 3, it was going to make a lot of money, and did it fall off the rails? First of all, before we get into that, this, I mentioned in the prior segment here, this is the actual, please,
go ahead.
That is the actual Trash Monster figure.
There's the eye that
That's right. In mint condition.
4 cents.
There's a mouth down there.
Monster.
You didn't know about any of this mouth.
That's right.
Key to Luke's
Sparrow wings.
Yeah, some believe a key to Luke's Force Awakening there, this creature. So this is the original toy.
That's awesome.
It came with the Star Wars Death Star playset that I got as a child in Christmas, probably 1977. 77 or 78, but again, that came with it. That, by the way, that Christmas...
it was -11.
if I recall correctly, it might have been the same Christmas. Now, think about this as a child. I got at least in my mind, so I'm going with it. I got the Star Wars Death Star playset, which was the biggest thing they had at the time. It was like a 3-story, it was literally about this tall. It was a couple feet tall, this toy. 3 levels. You could swing Luke and Leia on this thing, and it was a pretty elaborate toy. And also the Atari 2600. Now, that was a jackpot back then with Space Invaders as the cartridge.
Seems like
as a young child in the 70s.
Seems like a really good Christmas.
That was pretty magical. I don't know
Better than your rocks, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that anything was, as a child, nothing.
What year was
beat
that?
I think it was like 77.
Yeah,
or 78. Could have been 78.
78 Christmas, they just threw rocks at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to this day, rightfully so.
And what did you get 78 Christmas?
I was trying to think of a good line about how I was shot into a toilet bowl or something like that. Then I wouldn't be here. That's not how it works. It's not biology. So
I watched my brother get shot into a sock.
a lot of good kids went down that Christmas.
Yeah, your ancestry there. All right, moving right along. We're talking about the Disney trilogy. So again, I could go. All right, so the first movie was The Force Awakens. Yeah, and this was my 4th overall best movie.
It was my highest of the prequel or of the
Mine too.
the Disney movies.
Okay, why is that, Nick?
So could partially be the excitement of it coming back.
Sure.
Yeah.
All that stuff, but that was it had a very New Hope vibe to me. It had a very good, it's not ending at the end of that movie, but it wrapped and it was, I don't know, it felt like a pretty good complete movie. I also really liked, similar to when we touched on Anakin with the kids in the Jedi Temple, proving that he's bad. I mean, you hate to see Han go, but I like that Ben Solo was able, it was a pretty cool thing that he murdered his own father, and it really solidified him as a bad guy to me. Right. Mm-hmm. That it wasn't just, this is a new villain, he's evil.
Kid.
This is something seriously wrong with this dude, So I thought Kylo Ren in that movie, especially, I love Adam Driver as an actor and everything, but when he lost the mask, I'm like, I think the mask is kind of key. I think the mask was very cool. I thought the very first opening scene where he has them open fire on civilians and things like that.
Right.
Again, adding to that layer of how evil he was, I thought it was really cool. Finn is probably my favorite character throughout the entire Disney movies. Although I hate that they didn't do more with him as it goes on, but in this movie, this is his spotlight. This is where he abandons the New Order, or the First Order, and joins the
First Order.
No, he leaves the First Order to join the
The Resistance.
Resistance. I wanted to say Rebellion, but I knew it wasn't right.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, just a good movie all around. I thought it was well done. It was fine. It wasn't, I wasn't blown away by it and thought, man, this is like one of the best Star Wars movies I've ever seen, but it was good. And, other than, Luke comes in at the very end of that one, but, you see Han and Chewie together again. I thought there was a lot of good comedic moments and things like that. I really liked the dynamic between Han and Rey. I thought it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. It's my favorite of the newer movies.
Okay. I remember you sitting next to me.
We went and saw all three of these movies together.
We all, yes, all three of us did.
So
yes, we did.
we're all sitting next to each other, and I remember the feeling. It wasn't even like the story or whatever. It was the idea of like when John Williams' music hit. That moment
was,
when we're all sitting together, and then boom, the lights go down, and you're waiting. But that
was exciting.
That feeling of like Star Wars is back. You know what I mean? So that for that reason touches a place in my heart for that reason. But like you said, for the other reasons, you have Rey, which I found to be a fantastic character. You finally get yes, Leia was a hero and a female, but like she was like the female.
Right, she was the Luke. She was the main hero and the female hero of the story, yeah.
So, that was fun and different, and you have Kylo Ren, what's his name? The actor in the beginning. The old man.
Oh, in the tent there?
Yes.
I don't know.
I can't remember his name, but just that scene there, it kind of like when he hands it to Poe Dameron and says, this is going to fix everything. It's like he's saying, all right, we got this. He's telling the crowd, the fans, here, this is going to fix everything. We got this. Hold on.
Yeah.
Didn't quite probably turn out the way everybody was hoping, but it gave you at that moment that hope, the new hope of this was going to be cool. This was going to work. Didn't quite do it for everybody, but I enjoyed everything about it. They could have done, some things differently and whatnot, but I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I reflect back sometimes, and was the movie really that good, or were we just
so stoked to have it back and
have a nice movie, and the effects were pretty cool, and the prequels again were not good. Now we did. Now that was it. That's the next thing that we had up to that point. So you were really optimistic that Disney was going to do something right with it, and
Disney's got a good track record. They do a good job, even like live action.
The Marvel
films,
movies have been out. They actually didn't screw those up.
Pirates of the Caribbean movies are good. They do a good job of towing that line for being entertaining for kids, but also adults, and they they're all around the family kind of good films.
It seems like they didn't meddle. It's like we got the Star Wars people, let them do their thing, and I agree with you. The characters were pretty strong in the first movie. Yep. Rey was a good introduction, and actually for me the extra dynamic is compared to I actually, of course, I have a daughter, and I like to see. It just means a little something different to me these days. I think it's great to see strong, powerful female characters in these movies. Leia, again, we talked about that prior. Leia was a strong character, and she remains so. A strong mentor in the Resistance, leading. And then to bring up another strong female character, I thought was great.
Yeah, she kind of mentored her.
Then it was all setting up to where, you just almost assumed she was going to be a Skywalker or a Kenobi or something like that. And That's probably what they were maybe originally thinking. Who the heck knows? Because it really went off the rails toward later, but we'll talk about that.
That's the next movie.
Yeah, but I agree. Finn, that was an interesting dynamic with, you forget, that why are these guys stormtroopers? They really talked about that.
Right.
So that was kind of an interesting thing, and
To
I
find out that they were
thought.
stolen as kids.
Sure.
It's like
Same
being
as
born a
Jedis.
Scientologist or something. You just kind of
Right.
follow what you
Well, kind of brainwashed and everything else.
But
and then
look at the dynamic of originally the Jedi took kids. I mean, it wasn't forcefully, the parents agreed, but like the Jedi did that
Right.
the same to what the
Right.
Resistance did. They
Right.
took them as kids, put them in that doctrination, and
yeah.
whatever way they went.
Mhm.
Jedi here and the First Order that way. I mean, they kind of did the same.
Yeah.
I thought Snoke was a very interesting character back then.
Very
There was a
interesting.
lot of directions that they probably were thinking that were going to go with that, and they certainly
Yeah.
could have
Yeah.
until later, as we learned. I like the Kylo Ren. You're right; he was very different there. Still, I sort of like that he was just sort of playing with the mask. They didn't really need the mask. He wanted to be his
Right.
grandfather. Kind of threw
Right.
it on, and people kind of recognized that, and he
Yeah.
was sort of torn there. I kind of thought I thought he might be Luke's son. They really kind of threw you a loop there because they kind of kept that a secret to what sibling he was. So that was interesting. Like you say, the whole feel good, Solo and Chewbacca coming on the Falcon. That was wonderful. So again, overall, start to finish, definitely the ending crescendo was great with Luke and her handing him the saber and all the ways they could have went with it in the next movie. So it had led up to where maybe they're doing something right here. J.J.
Gonna
Abrams.
get it.
All right.
They're
Maybe
gonna get
they
it.
got
They
something
can't
right
screw it up.
here.
They just can't.
Right.
Right. So yeah. So again, now where did this rate? Again, this is on your list there. This was overall. Where did you have
Force
this one?
Awakens
Towards
was
the top?
6
6
for me.
Okay, so about
Yeah.
mid road there
Yeah.
for you.
I think I don't know. I don't have my list in front
That's
of me.
okay.
Phone's
I
charging,
had
but
this,
mine was somewhere around there.
I had this number 4, so past the original trilogy. I had this as
So
my
you
my
had it
favorite.
higher.
Yeah. So okay,
Yeah.
and then Dean, we go to.
I'm gonna start with this.
Yeah.
Now we move on to The Last Jedi. I'm going to start with. May I use profanity?
Well, we've already used it a little bit already,
We
so
have.
we'll alert our viewers here.
Fuck Ryan Johnson. All right.
I thought you liked this one.
No,
I was under the impression you liked this one.
it was.
Or you said the more you watched it,
I understood the story that they were going with, but what he did when branching between the two movies was dog shit. It's like they said, you know what? Do your own thing. Don't worry about anything else. Just do a Star Wars movie. It didn't follow.
we'll throw it in the middle of everything. It won't matter.
You
It's
went to the
fine.
meetings there.
No, right.
Because somebody must have talked to him in a
Easily.
meeting.
Okay.
And he probably
Let me tell you
said,
this.
well, are you going to do... Yeah, this is very interesting, isn't it?
If you're going to watch all 9 Star Wars movies,
Yeah.
you can skip this one and you don't know the difference.
Yeah, you'd say
like
like
you
2.5,
don't
3 hours.
like the story wise, you don't know anything was missing. You can go through. You can go from the what?
Yeah.
nothing
like
further
7,
the plot line.
Yeah,
nothing
7 to
just
9,
happens,
and
yeah.
you're like, all right, I didn't miss anything. It meant
I think it might be
nothing.
like, where'd Snoke go? You might ask that question.
Right.
But other than that,
Right. That's the
you're right.
only thing.
Yeah.
Did you ever wish you could see Mark Hamill as an old man?
And
Drink
then be a
green milk out of the
dick.
teat of some weird thing? You might want to watch that movie if you wanted to see that.
Because
but otherwise, it
you
doesn't really matter.
Strange.
You spent 30 or 40 years going, this is Luke Skywalker. And then you take this movie and go, I'm joking, he's a pussy.
Now, granted, I will say I know Mark Hamill as I don't know Mark Hamill. I know Mark Hamill.
Really?
And ladies and gentlemen, a special guest.
No, I know
Come
he's
on in, Mark.
Oh, he must be in the restaurant.
our one viewer.
Maybe later.
Mark Hamill, I know that there's a goofy element to him. He really embraces different elements
He did
of,
not
of
like
his
that.
fan.
And he did not.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things in there with him that I'm just like, I don't know. At the time, I'm like, are they just kind of letting him be Mark Hamill, do Mark Hamill things, or
No, he did. That's not what he.
Well,
it was that movie
kind of
reminded me
like
of a
I
prequel
think
in
that
some
they,
ways.
I think they gave him the scenes that he did, like the flipping over and the certain like facials. I think they like said this is what you got to do, and I think he tried the best he could, and you know what I mean.
It's not his fault.
Right. So he tried to make it the best he possibly could.
Yeah, he acted what they gave him.
I don't blame Mark
Yeah.
Hamill. Did you hear that in the bathroom? We don't blame you. I don't blame you.
So like, yeah, the Ryan Johnson. It's like President Trump with Barack Obama, in a way.
Okay.
I am going to just dismantle everything you
Right.
set up.
I'm just going to tear
Whether
it down.
you can agree or disagree with that.
Right.
But if that's just what he seemed to be doing.
I agree
I don't.
totally.
Every storyline where you were going with this, the cool
Tear it
Snoke
up.
character,
Yep.
I'm just gonna cut him in half.
Yep.
F you, don't care. It was like
That was the
wow.
single most
Really?
infuriating thing when I was watching that
Although
movie.
it was like
who
wow.
was he? Like, what?
Right.
He's gone.
You're like,
Like,
okay,
who was-
that never mind.
I was
about
waiting that was going to be this giant reveal
Well,
that
that's
with like it's going
probably
to
what
tie
they were
all this
setting up.
in, and he's just gone. And then like, that's fine. Who cares? Who gives a shit? He's gone. Who was he?
Okay.
I don't know. I don't
I
know.
will say this. I will say this. There is one scene that is amazing.
Yeah.
that scene or
When the Hodor maneuver, when they put in silence when she went through the
the dark side thing.
no when she put the spaceship through the
it went into light speed through
Right.
the thing.
and like
Right.
they put
And just the
they did it in
impact of the
silence and
visual.
they're like boom and like it was silence and the light.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful scene. Other than that, horseshit movie.
I really did enjoy if there's one thing I can take away that I love from that movie, it is the I guess the choreography of that Rey and
That was
Kylo
good.
dueling together,
That was
and
good.
the shot with the lightsaber through the back of the head.
Yes.
Visually, the red background with
Yes.
the Sith troopers
The
was
Gamorrean
very
guards.
cool.
That
was
scene
neat.
I
right
really
there.
liked that scene, and I liked that
Yes.
the way all that played out, and them together working together. I really like that.
That fight scene and the Hodor maneuver is the only reason it was above Attack of Clones.
Wow. I did like the
You like
Luke.
that movie.
I did like the Luke walking out
Yeah.
there with the with the AT-ATs or whatever that was. That was pretty cool.
Yep.
And then wiping off the obviously it wasn't really
Oh.
him. That was
Okay,
that was pretty cool.
I agree, but why did you need to put the fucking beard paint and
Because he was
just for men?
He was in his.
he was at the age that Kylo Ren remembered him when he was training.
But they didn't explain that. I
Well,
get
you got
I-
it
I-
because it showed him in that dream sequence or whatever it was. the
I
memory
remember watching that in
sequence.
the theater and you leaning over to me and going, "He fucking dyed his hair and his beard.
Right.
Like, what? How
I'm
did
like,
you do this?
why?
What is happening? I don't.
It
know.
was
Why does he look different?
It was just for Jedi's he used, I believe. Extra strong on the metachlorians. Are your metachlorians turning your beard gray? Try just for Jedi's.
I like that.
Yeah, there you go. It's a very strong.
I want that.
maybe you.
Yeah, I got to use some just for Jedi. Just for Jedi.
I need just for Jedi. That's what it is. All right, so I honestly think I don't remember a lot about that movie.
I remember that weird casino scene with Rose.
Cenobite. Yeah, it was
and,
all
like,
Oh yeah,
I
to
don't-
go see find the guy with the
Yeah.
rose, and then they hook up with what's his face, who betrays
Benicio
them.
del Toro.
Right.
Right, and I mean he was kind of a cool character, I guess.
and that's the shitty part is like he should have been another. You know,
He could have
should
been more.
Right.
Yeah, he could have been featured more.
I don't know. I mean they should have either. I mean this is like there's a zillion.
And what were they trying to show you with the kid at the end with the broom? Like, was that supposed to be like,
Now see,
hey, little guy, it could happen to you? Like, what?
yes.
I don't. I mean,
Actually, I'm glad you brought that scene up because to me that might have been the best scene in the entire movie because they brought
Really?
it in my mind. They brought it back around. They got rid of the stupid metachlorians. Didn't mention
it just means that it. Yeah.
They didn't. If you notice, they didn't mention any of that crap in this new
It
one.
could be anybody.
Yes,
Any.
and that's the idea of the four, and I like that too. It doesn't,
Or of any
you don't have to be
superhero.
a-
Yeah.
but-
you don't have to be a Skywalker. Or
What
Kenobi.
they were,
you have it.
but
within
what
you.
they shit on was the idea. In that same vein, is because in the first one, the Disney movies, in Force Awakens, you thought she was somebody, and then he just goes, nope, just junk traders, and then they just fix it later. He just shit on everything.
That I thought was pretty. Actually, I thought that was good too.
Yes, if they would have stayed with it.
They stayed with it. Yes,
But you had to have J.J. Abrams come out and go, okay, he's a dick. No, don't worry about it, guys. I got this.
They screwed it up.
It's horseshit.
Either leave it with J.J. Abrams, or at least somebody that knows his thought process, or let Rian Johnson do the last movie, like it or hate it,
Right.
and that's it.
Yep.
And then at least you have some
I agree.
cohesiveness to the arc and ending, which
Yeah.
they, of course,
That
did
cast
not,
didn't do all.
they did not have.
all
Yeah, you can
three.
straight up just pluck that second one out, and it
Yeah,
would make it
and you
actually more
wouldn't know
cohesive.
any
to just
difference.
have, everything.
Yeah. Okay. So of the newest Disney movies, is that one the worst? Is that where we rate that one?
Yep.
I feel
Yeah.
like it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Some people think that's the best, believe it or not.
Well, some
They
people
don't-
are
they
wrong,
don't- they
Brian.
don't like, I
Yeah,
know.
A lot of
Those
people are wrong.
stupid.
I don't have that one rated very high. Yeah.
Oh, Mark Hamill just called out from the bathroom and said that that's his favorite one. Okay.
Yeah, I've got that
But
one.
no, you didn't hear the rest? He also
No.
said, fuck Rian Johnson.
Okay.
I got to rethink my
His
list
favorite
because
one.
actually,
And...
I had that one higher than Revenge of the Sith, and I'm not sure.
Really?
Yeah, I
Really?
had it rated actually higher than Rise of Skywalker, which I still may agree with. I think about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
You had that rated higher than Revenge of the Sith?
Yeah. I don't know.
All right.
I might rethink my list. Go ahead.
Ooh, we should do a live podcast of us watching both of these with Brian and us just the entire time looking at Brian and be like,
In disgust.
why? Why?
Yeah,
Why do
yeah.
you like?
It's one of those things. I think it's like you. I mean, there's a lot of movies. You watch it, and you're excited, and then you go back and we talked about this. After watching these movies, it's like, was it good? Or
You have
was I
your
just
first
excited?
impression that's
Yeah.
over the moon,
But
and
also,
you're just like, man,
That's
that was
the thing
great.
about
'cause
all
you're-
these Star Wars ones is that all the Star Wars movies, the ones you like, can change in your order
Yeah.
when you see them, how you're feeling at
Yeah.
the time. You know what I mean? Like I could watch Jedi and go, you know what? At this moment, that's goddamn good.
The original trilogy will. Anything else that will never overtake it. At least what they've had out there. So
You're talking about New Hope.
yeah, right. The
Okay.
original trilogy.
Okay.
Anyway, okay. So now the last movie.
So
Last
I was
movie,
really
the
looking forward to
Last
this one.
Last Skywalker. What
Rise
was
of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker,
Rise
right.
He's not going to start this one because he doesn't know the name.
I was
So-
looking forward to
well,
this
it's
one.
Nick's turn anyway. So Nick,
Because in every trilogy,
Yeah.
the wrap-up one is always, if history were to repeat itself, it's my favorite. I love Return of the Jedi. I love Revenge of the Sith. I just like the wrap-up. I like the closure of it all.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is it, right? We're going to find out who Snoke was. We're going to learn who Rey's parents were, and we're going to know all these... I don't know what they're going to do, but they're going to blow our minds. They're just going to blow our minds. Whatever it is... It's going to be, think of your best scenario, and then it's going to be even better, because this is Star Wars, and all this has been building up to them just blowing you away. They're going to just blow your mind.
the original trilogy had a nice crescendo. They
Mhm.
answered your questions.
Yep.
Right? Nice
Yep.
ending.
Mhm.
Wrapped
Nice
it
ending.
up.
Wrapped it
Like
up
it or hate it.
with a
Yep.
bow.
Wrapped it up.
Right.
The prequels, wrapped it up. We
Right.
want to see how Vader became Vader, whether you can like it or
You
dislike
put a
it.
bow on Vader's head.
We showed you what happened. It was the tragedy.
Yep.
We ended it how we wanted to end it, and whatever. This one, did it answer all your questions? No.
I mean, it wrapped it up.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not satisfied with the answers I was given. Actually, okay, so let's start where I started with that. Snoke, right? So, like, we've been waiting, because, there's this, Kylo Ren's the bad guy. He's the big bad guy, and he's the guy that's leading all this. But who's his master? Who does he answer to? Snoke. Well, who is Snoke? You hear all these theories out there. Maybe it's Mace Windu. He was neutral because of his lightsaber color, and Jedi can know. I'm not saying I believe that's who it was going to be, but there are theories. There are all these things. Oh wow, it could be this, it could be that, and all these fantastical
Could be a
things.
clone.
Could
of
be
the
anything.
Emperor,
Oh my god, it could be anything.
right?
So, So they pull Emperor Palpatine out of their ass. He's back. He's alive. He died at the end of Return of the Jedi? No, he didn't. Nope. No. It's what,
How?
3 whole movies later and he's alive. He's been fine.
It's like how? We're not even. We're not
Don't get me wrong. I like
going
that they
into-
pull this trick out sometimes because they made it work with Darth Maul, and I like that some guys come back, and I like Palpatine as a character, but it just feels like this
Reaching.
was kind of pulled literally out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, region.
So, okay, and then so he says that he is all of the voices or all the character, all the Sith, that whatever, he embodies all the Sith. So what he was, Snoke was a clone
Yes.
of some of the sorts
Yes.
that was created by Palpatine.
He was an attempted
He was a
clone.
puppet of Palpatine's for Kylo to carry out his will.
Very flimsy.
Fine, I'm not
Yeah.
satisfied with my answer. Wish you could have done better, but okay, you wrap that up. That's fine. Yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot. I feel like they kind of cast Finn. He's still here, but we don't know what to do with him.
I agree with that.
I feel like they did the same thing with Rose. Well, Rose
Right.
again was part of that. She was brought in The Last Jedi, but okay, there was a love story kind of starting there, but that's,
Which never
but then he also
They
kind of
did
seems to
nothing.
hit it off with that girl who's leading the tribe on the
Weird.
I don't know what
Which-
they didn't know what to do.
Could be Lando's daughter.
Too many
Yeah,
people.
that was weird. The
Right.
end of that.
Too many characters. You're
Okay,
right now,
so,
and then trying to close them all out.
Right.
I was never super into Poe. I mean, he was fine. The actor, he was okay, but like the character himself never really gripped me. I never felt like Poe
Don't
needed
care
to be
all much.
there.
Yeah.
I didn't care about Poe very much.
Right.
The biggest letdown, I think, has got to be just obviously we find out who Rey's parent, we actually don't. We know that his parents were. We know that Palpatine is Rey's granddaughter. We didn't know that Palpatine ever had children. That's never even winked at. It's never even remotely explained in this movie.
No.
They are nobody. We're told that they are nobody, but other than Palpatine's son
Yes.
and his
It-
wife.
well, no, it's his clone.
Okay.
It's a failed
Okay.
clone.
Okay.
It's sort of like
Kind of like this movie. It's a failed clone of the things
it's
we've
like
seen.
it's like Dean and your family.
Right.
Like you.
Right.
You're sort of like the parents of Rey.
Right. I'm a failed clone.
There's something
Right.
there.
You're just a faceless thing that doesn't
Right.
matter.
It's like
we don't know how to.
my parents go, oops.
We don't know how to explain it.
Right. You're like, well, we'll just put it out in the world
Not
and
much
see
of
what
a
happens.
not much of a story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like you said, it wraps everything up.
Does it?
I'm not happy with my answers. They were like, you know how when we're all parents here. You know when your kids ask you something over and over again and you eventually just give up with giving them logical answers and you just go, yes, whatever, and you agree with whatever? It feels like that. You're just like, whatever. Whatever you said last is the answer. That's what it is. That's what it is. Just fuck it.
It's like the
it's
scene
fine.
from Yoda in Jedi, and Luke's asking him all these questions. There's memes and stuff like this out there. He's just like, I'm done. I'm just going. I'm going.
Right?
Death is better than answering your fucking questions.
Yeah.
That's what it was here.
Right.
Well, what happened there? Well, and it's like, nope, we got to end this movie. This movie could be 6 hours long.
Yeah.
If we cannot satisfy all you nerds out there, it's impossible. Which is true.
That is true. I
We're
will give them
trying
that.
to
I would not
wrap
want
up-
to be tasked with the burden of trying. I think I just. I wouldn't want to be tasked with the burden of trying to please the Star
But
Wars
some
fandom
of the
community.
stuff, I'm like, really,
But
you have to like.
Jesus, try.
We gotta make C-3PO tell R2-D2 he's actually his friend. We know that. It's like, that was like a lingering thing that was bugging.
Do you know what
J.J.
could have made
Abrams or
that
somebody.
better?
It's like
Hold on.
we know
Do you
C-3PO
know what would
loves
have made that
R2-D2.
better? Is
You don't need to say it.
if R2 put C-3PO's memory and he remembered all the movies.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like, say
I-
something to where, like, C-3PO now remembered everything.
I did forget about that. That's a whole other that whole premise was very shaky as well. But anyways, plus R2 can fly. Now he can't. Forget it.
Why did
And then they had to give Chewbacca the medal for Christ's sake. I mean, come on, man. I mean, okay.
I didn't
whatever.
hate that one.
He
It was all
Yeah,
just
I
because of the
it
wink
was-
to like,
it
hey,
was
we know
like-
that, like,
it's like you're-
metal before.
It's like you're running around a house when you're moving and you're trying
Right.
to find. Okay, well, there's what's
Right.
left in here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the you just I don't know.
But all that really explains is like how many plot holes are throughout all 8 movies. You know
That's
what I
right,
mean?
You can't satisfy. I don't know.
And I
They
don't-
spent.
You have a lot of masters you gotta answer to.
I don't know.
Like,
I thought there was. I don't know. I found nothing in that entire movie satisfying at the end. I step back and I think, am I really happy with how they ended this entire franchise
No.
of 40 plus years?
So here's my
And
thing.
the answer is no. I could not think of one thing that I was satisfied with ultimately that I could think of.
I don't know. I know you don't, and I don't
Yeah.
know if you ever did. But for people or anybody who might watch this that had seen Game of Thrones, it's notorious that the last season was a colossal letdown. So it's this wonderful years and years of fantastic writing and storytelling, and it's a television achievement. It's wonderful, right? So I feel like you just kind of got to cut your losses. The fact that it ends shittily doesn't take away all the good things it gave you. You just I feel like Star Wars could have ended at Return of the Jedi and it would have been fine. It was great to have it back, and of course they want to make the money, but in my head, that's kind of where I stop it. I just pretend kind of like a lot of this didn't happen because I just don't need it.
Kissing Rey too. Oh my!
And did he have to die? Why?
Okay. Real quick.
Yeah.
If you have the problem with Kylo Ren kissing Rey, it's kind of on the same uncomfortableness of Luke kissing Leia.
That's not as bad as that, though. Is it?
It was uncomfortable though.
Are you saying the brother and sister making out is better than?
Oh no, I said it's worse. I mean,
Okay.
Kylo and Rey are not that bad.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's awkward.
Let me say this. We have gone through all 9 movies, explaining and giving our opinions. So I'm going to say this for this podcast. You guys convinced me. I had Rise of Skywalker at 5.
Yeah.
It's at least dropped 2 from you guys
There you go.
explaining this.
Podcast is a success.
There you go.
We've earned our name.
The one saving grace for that movie is, like I said in a previous segment, is Chewbacca wailing at Leia dying. That scene hit me. When I'm watching that scene hit me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they did right by Leia the best they could.
Right.
Yeah.
As they could.
Right.
But other than that, you guys convinced me. It's not probably as good as I originally thought.
Yeah.
The thing that got me in the feels in that one was Lando and Chewie flying together.
Yeah.
That was pretty.
I don't know
good.
what, but it was just cool.
exciting.
I was like,
That was
this
good.
is neat.
Yeah, it doesn't make the movie, but you're like,
No.
yeah. All right.
Okay. Sorry. So, what do you give the most recent Star Wars trilogy?
For me, I feel so. I didn't do half measures, which now I feel like I probably should have, because if I gave the prequels a C grade, I'd have to go with a C plus for them. So, which would mean I'd have to give this a C minus or a D if I'm not doing half measures. But I didn't honestly. I don't like them as much as the prequels because there's at least a prequel that I hold higher in my top 3, and there were characters that came out of it that I really enjoyed. And in this one, I like what they did with certain characters. We mentioned the Rey aspect, the female hero, and the centerpiece. I really like that. I thought the idea of Finn coming away from being a stormtrooper and the turning of that, and that was cool, but they misused him wildly. And other than that, it's almost like present day wrestling. They just relied on older characters to bring you back in, and it's it's not like there was a lack of intriguing characters. I just feel like they didn't use them properly. Same thing with Kylo Ren.
Yep.
So it's pretty close, Disney versus prequels for me. It's kind of both whatever. It's Star Wars and I'll always watch it and enjoy it to a certain extent. But I think I like the prequels a little bit better, even though there's a lot of parts of the prequels that you wish you could forget. But
It's a valid argument.
I think more with the Disney ones. I think it's more that I feel like they squandered an opportunity. It was just I had, and especially being that it was Disney, I had really high hopes that it's Disney's got this and Disney does well and Disney knows what they're doing. They know how to toe that line. They're gonna appeal to the entire family, and I feel like they kind of missed the mark a little bit for me. So,
Dean, what do you think?
I'm gonna go B minus.
Oof. Okay. Go ahead.
I enjoyed them more than prequels. I mean, I take the worst one of both, Attack of the Clones and Rise of Sky.
Last
Yeah,
Jedi.
Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Brian got me drunk. So I take the last two, or the worst two, and which ones are worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I judge it upon that, and then the best, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the Disney ones were a little bit better just because the story was they were a little more put together and a little faster paced. So I'm gonna give it a B.
I got like a C plus. So they barely edge out the prequels all the way around. But I agree with you. Everything you said was all accurate to me. They really did. Huge opportunity to try to wrap up this
epic, monumental pop culture franchise. It's like a massive deal to people. There's a religion, for Christ's sake.
It's really interesting. I like to be a fly on the wall in some of these meetings, to where it's like, are you really? Don't screw this up, because this is a we paid how much? How many did they pay for this? Billions of dollars. Don't screw it up, because people may, and some people probably just thought, nah, people will still come and they're right.
I was gonna say,
however, it does leave a bad taste in a lot of people, and I think because of how all this stuff kind of went down, we had these, and we won't talk about it in this segment here, but we had a couple side movies,
right?
Mm-hmm. And I think because well, that's different. That's actually good, but these side movies, I think they realized that people are not as enthralled by what we did here, and they're not necessarily going to run out here and just watch it simply because it's Star Wars. I think they're learning, at least hopefully, that they want a good story and a good movie. This is where, like, the Marvel movies, I think they're understanding the fact that we got to have a good. You can't just put Iron Man up on the screen, for instance, and just people will just automatically like it.
Right.
I think they learn really quickly that no, we have to put out a good product, a good storyline to accompany the some of the most iconic movie characters in movie history, and they really kind of screwed that up a little bit. So maybe they'll revisit. Yeah. And they're working on another trilogy, which is going to take place way before the Star Wars, original trilogy and all that. So hopefully they'll learn from this and do it right, and
I'd like that.
Create new fans that appreciate it more, and maybe give us some grizzled fans some peace here that they'll do something right. Mandalorian's a good step. Now you mentioned that. Now, actually, no, sure. that is by Jon Favreau, who's clearly a fan,
right?
Who probably was ticked off. I don't know, but I would assume he's someone that's ticked off about how they did this, and
Marvel experience as well. Yeah.
Right, he understands all I just said. These are iconic characters. Actually, this is an iconic universe.
It's not just it's Dave Filoni also.
Who is?
You made that name up. Dave Filoni's not a real person.
Dave Filoni is the guy who did the Clone Wars cartoon.
Okay.
And he was the one who was literally given the reins by Kathleen Kennedy and whatnot. So he was given all the tasks for the newer Star Wars. And then once he did the Clone Wars, then they kind of go, all right, let's give all the other directors this. But yes, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are in charge of that.
Okay. All right, so actually that's a very good another segment for another time. That's good.
So
we can talk about some of these other offshoots, the side movies. You can like or dislike those with Solo or Rogue One, the TV show Mandalorian, the cartoons and all that. That's a very good other segment with some of the other parts of the Star Wars universe, good, bad, and different. We'll look at that another time. So all things considered, guys, I think we all did agree. We all it didn't take much convincing of each other that the original trilogy
is the best.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, and then it's kind of second best is sort of a toss up between the prequels and the new one. I think that I think on one conversation we may lean toward the Disney ones, and the next one might be leaning toward the prequels. I think that's very
given the day.
Yeah, So, do you agree with us out there? Do you agree that the original Star Wars trilogy in the 70s, early 80s is the best? Why or why not? We'd love to hear from you, and any suggestions that you may have for the future. Please comment. Again, you can email us at convincingidiots@gmail.com, or simply post on Facebook wherever we start to get this out there. We'd love to hear from you. Go ahead, please.
This is not just Star Wars. Do you have any other ideas?
I was gonna say, how quickly did this just turn into a pop culture podcast into like a Star Wars?
Right. This is not
Yeah.
a Star Wars podcast. Do you have any other suggestions for any other pop culture conversations?
Yeah, topics we'd like to talk about, or
Sure.
And we will convince you why we're idiots.
Well, that's an easy one.
Yeah.
Right.
I think we've done a very good. Actually, that's a good one there. We've done a very good job of very little convincing that we are idiots.
Right.
Now, I don't know if we've convinced any idiots out there, potentially.
Well, if they're
but-
idiots, so they probably agree with us.
Yeah.
So if we have fans, are they called idiots? Is that
No.
or
No.
viewers, are they idiots?
That we would never call a fan an idiot who likes us here. Now, maybe.
But they already know.
Yeah. I mean, we do question the judgment. They're certainly not idiots.
No.
Right.
But we do question the judgment of the women who were with us sometimes.
Yes.
Well,
Well,
in a nice way. We're like very grateful that
Very thankful for that.
very thankful and grateful.
Like
that they put
Groucho
up
Marx
with it.
said, I would never want to be part of a club that would have me as a member.
Ah, yes, that's a very good quote. And actually, that's a very good quote to end on. So, gentlemen, our first segments.
If you watch this, thank you, and I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Well, we hope we found this at least mildly entertaining. We're not sure the frequency of this. Maybe, we thought daily is what we might do. Every morning, 6 to 8 a.m. That was our first
Wake up.
suggestion. Yeah, but no, we do this like every couple. We're not sure yet. Right? As long as it's fun. That's our frequency.
Keep watching for us.
A couple times a month, whatever it is. We'll figure out what we want to do, and like Dean said, it was just, by no means this is this is just something. Star Wars goes way back with us. We've seen all the movies we just talked about, all the Disney movies, and all the current ones. Us three have sat and watched them together, and we've enjoyed
Common topic amongst us,
Absolutely.
anyways. So,
Absolutely. So we thought we'd start here. So
That's right.
look for more episodes. We're going to be out there we'll build a Facebook page, and you won't know what that is right now because it doesn't exist. And we're
We'll get
gonna
it
when
there.
this is out there, it will exist because you'll know exactly what it is. We'll promote
Because
this.
that's where you're probably seeing
It's
this.
probably where you're seeing this right
Right.
now. That's right. And we'll be out there in other platforms as well. We'll let you know where that is, and we're going to put this out there in podcast world, and we'll let you guys know where you can find all that as well on some of the major platforms out there. Give us a listen. Some people don't prefer to look at us.
hit us up on the socials.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. That sounds very. It's from a millennial. Hit us up on the socials here, guys. Yeah.
Hit him up on the SOS.
In my time,
Send him a fax or something.
you
Okay.
had to actually pick up a phone or drive around and meet people. How about that? You kids don't know what that is.
Brian, for the last time, I don't want a Werther's original. Please stop offering me that bowl.
We talk about these. I'm like, oh my god, we sound so old. Me and my friends. That's the truth. We used to drive around and meet people. Oh my god. Anyway,
So for Convincing Idiots, I'm Dean.
I'm Nick.
I'm Brian.
You guys have a good night.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time.